Hello guys, DJParson here, and I'm back for another game of the International Championship. And as you guys can see, the first 3 games that I've played are over already. You have seen those games before. And now it's time for the game 4B, which is going to be another 3-player game against Slick, 1-3, and Chips Ahoy. And let's first take a look at the standings at the moment. At the moment, on average, I'm on 2nd place. Don't get confused by the points. That is because the other players have finished more games already. So it's pretty close between Himmelstosh, myself, Lauhong and Slick. So this is a really important game coming up. Remember guys, we still have 4 games to come. So only the first 3 have finished. So nothing is decided yet. So with that said, let's hop into the game. So with this game against Slick, 1-3 and Chips Ahoy, I have the first turn. First look of course is at the leaders and wonders. From HA we have Hammurabi, and we have the library, we have Acropolis, we have Pierre, and we have Gates. We don't have Marlene. We have Nobel and Napoleon and Maximilian and Catherine, so a lot of military actions. So maybe the H2 will be really aggressive. Might be. Don't have Khan, we have Columbus. Okay, so don't have Zitska or Sun Tzu. So my first turn, I'm going to take Acropolis. Overall not that great. I'm not a fan of Confucius either. Cultural Heritage is not a great first card. Also I think if I take Alexander, Red can maybe take one of the wonders and Confucius. Yeah, he doesn't have the best options. Maybe blue will take the library for 3, but then I can get engineering genius and Colossus or Stonehenge. So yeah, I don't want to take a wonder, so I have more options next turn. Alex is always okay. It's not the greatest, but all these are not the greatest. Hammurabi is probably the best one of these, and he's not here, so I'm not guaranteed that if I don't pick Alexander and maybe pick Cultural Heritage. Don't think I like that, so we're gonna take Alex instead. And he takes Confucius, and blue takes Engineering Genius. He does indeed. So red took the Acropolis and Confucius. Okay, so blue wants a wonder and I want a wonder. So I think I have to take the library for 2. Then blue doesn't get any wonder at all, because these 3 will fall off. And then he has to hope that he gets an early Universitas or Forbidden City. The rest really isn't that strong that early. And he spent 3 civil actions on getting Engineering Genius, and he can't use that easily. And I still want the library, of course, still the best wonder. So it's not like I'm sacrificing a lot. Would do this anyway, I think, because I like library more for 2 than any of these for 1. I mean, I could go for the Colossus, play very aggressively with Alex, maybe building another warrior, going for Colossus, but overall I don't like that as much, so I'm gonna go with library, building a mine and electing Alex. And we draw border conflict. Okay, this early border conflict, definitely gonna play that, I think, even though I don't have a free population. But that is a really strong card. I can go for that. Keep in mind I have to build military, and then I win that, and then it's really good for me. And he, also builds a mine, takes stockpile. Interesting. Doesn't have, only had the choice between stockpile and frugality, I guess. And blue takes Code of Laws, engineering. So he doesn't get a wonder. Very early Magic Castle, he might go for that. It's not the best wonder super early. I think Universitas would be the best. But it's definitely okay. It's a strong wonder, starting with a lot of culture production early. So I think I'm gonna plant the border conflict. You could say that with the Magic Castle that blue's gonna get, it might be not that good. But I like having that information that it's in there, so I can afford going for more military. Okay, and food, that's not the best for me. Can increase 2 times and build a lab. Could also just increase once and build a lab. And then maybe take... do we have... we don't have... we have no Bach and no Marlene. So don't want to take drama. Could take reserves or Isabella. Isabella isn't bad. I don't think these are the strongest leaders, so maybe I could take Isabella, use Alex politics action, getting 1 yellow token next turn and then going for Isabella. I think I like that. So doing that. Of course, and then Alex can't give us anything for border conflict, but maybe I can go for a lot of knights with the heavy cavalry. And we're at the development of markets. Does he finish the... nope, doesn't want to finish the Acropolis yet. Just building 1 step of that. And blue takes, yeah, does take Magic Castle, immediately finishes it. Pretty nice. So I'm gonna use Alex as Alex Conquest. And take resources, of course. So I'm at 5. Still can't finish my library. That's not that great. Definitely gonna play Isabella. Maybe build 2 steps so next turn I can finish it. I would really like to finish that 1 turn earlier. I mean 1 more science, but doesn't work out like that. Could hope for 1 more resource if I don't use Alex but play the scientific method instead. But I'm not convinced of that. Yeah, the border conflict, we'll have to see how we can get some military. I hope that I get early knights. I have enough resources for that. Not that many military actions. And then I could go for the heavy cavalry. Maybe we can try that. Yep, I think this turn I don't have a lot of different choices. I could not go for the library. Increase again. And then I have food consumption. Could use this to take iron. But with Isabella I'm producing 4 resources already. So I think building these 2 steps so I can finish it next turn. That should be very good. Yeah, I think I want to keep that scientific breakthrough. So I can play something, and yeah, definitely gonna keep the tactic. Crusades and Legion, okay. And the development of religion, gonna see if everybody can use that. Red definitely can. Finishes Acropolis, takes the iron. Blue takes Nostradamus, goes for him immediately. And finally builds his 2nd mine. So did blue take the... yeah, he can also build a temple, and we as well, so everybody can use that. Don't want to push the events deck, I think. They're the weakest right now. Playing the border conflict could punish us in the end. Definitely gonna build 1 for free and finish the library finally. Would really like to get maybe monarchy. It's pretty nice. And still no knights. So maybe we can't go for the monarchy next one, but have to go for the knights. Either way, I think it's good to take that. Better than taking frugalities. Could take the bread and circus and 1 frugality. And there's Pierre. So the bread and circuses are pretty good. But we just got that free temple, so we don't need happy faces as much. Monarchy is pretty strong tech. If there's no knights next turn, we can go for that. So I like that. And we're producing a lot of culture, a lot of science now with the library. So going for a new government form is a nice way to spend those extra science points. And I guess we're gonna get rid of the Crusades. Scientific breakthrough could be nice if we're ahead in military at some point. And then even more of the Legion, so we could also go for 3 swordsmen, could also be an option. And we're at development of planning, so we can see what that will be. Goes for 1 warrior, not sure why. And yeah, blue's probably gonna play something. He doesn't play anything, maybe doesn't have anything in hand. I guess with Nostradamus we really want to play politics. Maybe didn't draw anything good or nothing at all. There's first knight. I'm definitely gonna skip politics. So I could probably use that development of civil life. It gives 1 civil action for free. And then going for the monarchy for just 7 science. Could take the swordsman. I think we could transition into, or could go for the Legion. Taking swordsman is never a bad idea. And then I guess building 1 more lab, so we have 4 science production, that's really nice. We have a lot of resources. And a lot of civil actions as well. Not sure what I want to do with that. I could also... yeah, maybe I'd rather take the raise population with this, so I can raise again. Then go for monarchy normally, build this. I guess doesn't change that much really. Swordsman and maybe which land, so I don't have to take... yeah, so I get 1 more population out this turn. I think this works nicely, so I don't have that many civil actions, which I don't really have a great use for. Yeah, I think this definitely works. I'm still at 4 resource production. Really would like a new wonder, probably the Universitas, if I can grab that. I mean, I could also go for this, going up to 5. Then I could also play the scientific breakthrough first. And maybe I like that. Problem is, of course, with the swordsman, I would rather go for those. I mean, I also don't have to go for the monarchy this turn. I can go for the swordsman instead. Yeah, I think I can play that with the knowledge that border conflict is in here. I really want to be prepared. And the scientific breakthrough is also really nice for me. So I think I'm gonna play that. And trade routes, okay. Sadly we're missing 1 science to develop monarchy and the swordsman. Yeah, missing 1. So I'm gonna raise population instead. I don't have to do that necessarily. Taking the swordsman. I think I like this still. So next turn we can go for the monarchy and then play the tactic. Don't need it at the moment. Really like to be stronger. We still have scientific breakthrough, which is gonna be pretty nice for us. And it could also... yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I could also go for the monarchy instead. And then still go for 2 warriors. This also isn't bad. I'm not gonna draw a lot of cards like this because I need to upgrade those warriors to swordsmen. But like this I get my monarchy out earlier, which I definitely like. I got up to 4 science production, that is good for the scientific breakthrough. Still strongest, I can upgrade those swordsmen. I have new deposits in hand, I don't need to draw cards that badly. It basically costs me 2 cards to draw, because I need 2 more military actions to upgrade the swordsman and don't do that immediately. I think I like this play, it's debatable. Being strong I really like with the border conflict. Instead we don't draw any cards here. So let's see. Everyone gains 1 science from Confucius. Red takes Gutenberg in this thing. Does he use him this turn to take alchemy? I think so, yeah, he does take alchemy with Gutenberg and then gets that for free. Blue also plays something, and another science for everybody. Very interesting. Taking knights, and going for iron. Okay, early iron. I guess not that early anymore. And then, yeah, let's take a look. Border conflict and scientific breakthrough. We are not the strongest, so maybe we don't want to reveal that border conflict at the moment. Can go for swordsman this turn, and then we could upgrade some to be stronger again. If we upgrade all of them, we are the strongest. Maybe for the border conflict, and then we can take some cards. Engineering Genius is always pretty nice. Maybe next turn we can get that Universitas. And then we could take... Let's take a look at the leaders. Yeah, there is Pierre, so we could take Bread and Circuses. And then we could also take Breakthrough. So we don't take Irrigation, but there are 2 selected breedings. Don't really need Warfare because we have Monarchy. And yeah, that are Irrigation because of that selected breeding. Let's take a look. They could take the Universitas, so that is a risk that we don't get that. Engineering Genius is still pretty nice, but yeah, that is something to consider here. Breakthrough overall pretty good. I mean, we have 4 science production already, but still I like that Breakthrough nonetheless. It's pretty strong, so that seems really good. Can take back and see what else we could do. We could go for Irrigation this turn even, use our rich land, and then take Engineering Genius. So that would give us some more food. We have pretty nice resource production with Isabella. We still get to 8 strength. So that is what I do first. But I think I like the Engineering Genius and Breakthrough, pretty important, as well as the Bread and Circus. Those are all pretty nice cards. We only have 1 happiness phase from the free religion. So we need some more at some point anyway. So I like that. Sadly we don't draw any cards, but yeah, that's okay. And he goes for iron. Still has unhappy worker, but he can upgrade. Yeah, not bad, but I'm still stronger. Went for that iron, pretty strong still for red. Scientific breakthrough, that's really nice for us, so that worked out perfectly. And he takes swordsman, so doesn't want that Universitas, so we can still grab that. Yeah, problem is our happy faces now, as we said. Don't want to play the new deposits really, but I would win the border conflict, so maybe I have to play that. Yeah, I guess I will have to do that. And the border conflict, that's really nice for us. Definitely like that Universitas. For happy face I could go for Bread and Circuses, destroy the religion, and go for that. Enough corruption. Yeah, this is looking tricky. Definitely wanted that Universitas, I think. There's also the Louvre coming up, so that could be an alternative to use our Engineering Genius. So we don't take that. Could even go for coal now. An upgrade. And then we could destroy 1 mine, we don't need it, and next turn we can go for the Bread and Circuses. I think I might like that more. We already have 4 science production, we don't really need the Universitas. Also, there's Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and maybe Marie Curie, so we could go for computers instead, or scientific method. So we really don't need more than 4 science production at the moment. So I think that is good. Going for this early coal doesn't look bad. There's 1 selected breeding, so we won't getting that. And these are heavily contested, so that could also be pretty important. Sadly we can't take that. Statue of Liberty might be an alternative for our food. Irrigation would also be nice. I mean, also just take these 2 and destroy. Then we have corruption, don't produce extra resources. So that this would be pretty costly for really important technologies. Still producing 3 with Isabella. And then we could go for coal next turn and have that selected breeding in hand, so we're setting up for a really nice economy. I'm not totally convinced. But I guess selective breeding is really strong, and together with the coal. We have that rich land still, we will produce 1 basically, so we are 10, and with that rich land we are 12 basically to upgrade coal, so we could upgrade 2 of those next turn. So I think this might actually be better. Yeah, depends on when the other selective breeding would come out. This is also really nice, going for that coal now. And then destroying the mine. Yeah, maybe this is better, producing more, not having corruption. Corruption is the big deal now, I think. If there was no corruption, if we take selective breeding, then I could do that. But like this must be better. Next turn I can upgrade those. I'll have a lot of resources. Can go for the Louvre maybe. Or the Statue of Liberty, depending on what comes out. Won't get the selective breeding, but there's 1 more left. And I have some selections to grab that for 3 maybe. I think I have to do this. Hope that I get the second selective breeding. Taking that makes our turn really weak. I really want to play that. Okay, this defensive army is really nice, just need the cannons for that. And with that tactic in hand I can easily go for the refugees as well maybe. And another science for everybody. That's okay. And he uses Gutenberg to develop that. Doesn't go for that yet. Can go for that next turn again with a free action. And blue takes the Louvre actually. So we can't grab that. Goes up to 7. So we are the weakest now. New deposits. Maybe we want to wait with that a little bit longer. Definitely can go for those refugees. I think I'm gonna grab Napoleon. And then I can go for the defensive army with the cannons. Still have that engineering genius, but yeah, we still have a lot of time. And the constitutional monarchy, I'll have the normal monarchy already, so I'd rather look for a justice system and strategy, maybe architecture, or even navigation, all of those to spend my science on. I definitely think I will grab those cannons and Napoleon. Then I can upgrade once. And for my last action, I still need food. So I could grab the frugality. That's 1 selective breeding, so I might also grab the efficient upgrade. But I mean, I have a lot of resources now with 7 production. So I might want to... And also there's new deposits, so resources are not my biggest problem at the moment. So I'd rather take frugality to get some additional food. Or take the architecture, because I really like architecture and I also want to build one of those wonders. Maybe the Transcontinental Railroad is going to be really strong. I only have 2 coal, so it's not the most, but if I can get that Transcontinental Railroad, it's going to produce a lot more. So I think architecture is going to be really nice. I can't use the frugality anyway at the moment, so I'll have to grab select breeding first. Might even go for the Statue of Liberty if I have to. So I think architecture is really nice. I really am a big fan of architecture nowadays. It makes stuff all really cheap. If I go for scientific method or computers, I will save a lot of resources with that. So I think that is a really nice tech, so I'm gonna grab that. And then I don't really need the heavy cavalry, so I can get rid of that. Keeping Isabella for now, Napoleon would only give us 2 strength. Which could be okay, but yeah, I'd rather keep the extra resource in blue tokens for now. And he goes for selective breeding and upgrades. Take constitutional monarchies at 2 science production only, so he's a lot of technologies in hand. Yeah, blue goes for Maximilian and the constitutional monarchy. Don't know why I guess he didn't have enough. Yeah, he didn't have enough to go for that last turn. Yeah, so he probably wants to go for that next turn. There's Nobel, definitely could grab him. Don't really need Isabella anymore. I'm the weakest at the moment. New deposits could really help us. I guess we have Napoleon already, forgot about that. I definitely think the refugees could be really strong. And Transcontinental Railroad as well, that looks pretty nice. Inhabited territory, that's gonna really help us. Can bid quite a lot, could even bid 3 resources with Isabella, so we up to 10. That really should be enough. Hope that I get it a little bit cheaper, but definitely could bid all of this. And I win it for 4, and that's really nice. Yeah, I can send away 1 card, saving 3 resources, definitely in the right move. So I get that. That's really nice. Some population can grab that Transcontinental Railroad. That's gonna be really strong. With the architecture and engineering genius, I can actually finish this. Do I want to go for Napoleon first? I don't really think so. With the railroad, I will be at 9. So I'm not too weak, I can defend. Napoleon I would go up to 11. So I wouldn't be the weakest anymore. I mean, Isabella gives me 1 resource production, I'm at 10 now. So maybe I could go for Napoleon this turn. Yeah, I think I can go for Napoleon. Going up to 11 and not being the weakest. Maybe in next turn I will be the strongest actually with this. So I think I like that. Also the new deposits will come, that's gonna be really strong, producing 9 extra resources. So I really like this play with the Transcontinental Railroad going up to 9 resource production. It's gonna be really strong. And then we finally draw war actually, and the international agreement. And yeah, upgrades another one, goes for Nobel now. Gutenberg really has served his purpose. And takes strategy, really nice for him. Has a lot of science production now. And he actually wants to go for Republic instead of Constitutional Monarchy. Yeah, maybe because he needs the science. Republic is really cheap with the revolution, only 2 science, and Constitutional Monarchy still costs 6, so you just save 4 science, which you can definitely use. He's not producing a lot, so yeah, probably a nice move. So what are my options? I could go for war, I could go for cannons, build 1 and play the tactic, then I still add 2 military actions, so I could declare war. Problem is blue isn't producing a lot. Could maybe still declare the war on him. He's only at 5 resources with reserves. Could go for swordsman, but he can't overtake me. And I could steal the Code of Laws from him. Against Red, he has strategy in hand and a lot of resources. So I could force him into spending a lot on that. I also have a different option, but I mean I can still declare the war and go for something else too, like scientific method. Could go for Brennan Circuses even, or maybe taking the breakthrough, that's probably really nice. And also I could go for another cannon with 25. Should easily be able to steal quite a lot from blue. Don't know if I should go against red. He can play strategy, then he's at 16. Can play cannons and build 1. New deposits could help them, but that is a problem, that they could get extra resources. So I think this war should probably... I can't go for that extra cannon actually, because they need 2 military actions for the war of technology. Also don't have to go for that this turn. But I think it's nice stealing the Code of Laws from him. That definitely would be nice. Could also play the international agreement. And then have a lot of resources if it is the new deposits. Go for journalism even. So if I skip politics, go for journalism. Can even go for, yeah, only 1, but still probably nice. And then I could go for justice system as well. And I'm at 4 culture production. Yeah, that war probably still not too bad. Maybe I don't take justice system because at some point I might get the Code of Laws from blue, but I'd rather take breakthrough with that. And then maybe increasing population. So I could do this first, play the international agreement, maybe I even get the new deposits. Can go for another journalism. Let's take a look at the leaders we have. We have I'm Fleming, maybe for that. We have the internet, so journalism definitely is not bad. Maybe still get computers as well, can go for Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. Can even go for Marie. So yeah, the war also is not looking bad, to be honest. If I declare the war in blue, I think that has to be in blue, where it has so much potential for military with this strategy in hand. Then going for that cannon. And playing this tactic. So I'm at 22. That is definitely nice. I can still grab that journalism and break through. Could also go for Eiffel Tower instead. Use that for happy faces. And a lot of culture production. Can finish that next turn maybe, but yeah, maybe I like that journalism more. Yeah, maybe taking breakthrough is probably nice. I don't have the most science. And then journalism. And can increase population and take engineering genius maybe. Yeah, this also doesn't seem bad. There's still the Statue of Liberty, could also go for that if I don't get the... I won't getting the Eiffel Tower, but I really like the journalism in hand, so I can spend a lot of resources that I will be getting with the new deposits. I have enough population at the moment. I mean, I could also go for the Eiffel Tower, that is also a nice way to spend my resources. And then maybe upgrade my labs to computers. Won't be getting the scientific method, so that is a problem. Could also go for a justice system instead. And the breakthrough. Yeah, a lot of choices of what else to do. Won't be drawing cards, but I don't really need to. I don't need H2 cards anymore, I have my tactic. I have one more card I can play. So declaring the war now, I'm not missing out on H3 military cards. So like that. And stealing the Code of Laws from blues, probably gonna be pretty nice. I mean, he has potential for military with his Louvre. But he's only at 3 military actions, doesn't have a good tactic, doesn't have a new tech. Like he doesn't have cannons in hand or medieval or the... He has swordsman, but nothing too great, no cannons for him. He won't get any, so he can't upgrade to a very nice tactic. Could go for swordsman and I guess the classic army if he has that, but he's only 1 card in hand, and that would be very unlikely. I guess he is probably gonna try to spend his science, maybe on the swordsman and such, so I can't steal as much. But I'm fine with getting the Code of Laws, I think. And yeah, against red it's probably too dangerous with the strategy. So I think that is good, and then I just have to decide what else I want to do. Could go for journalism, could even go for one this turn and take breakthrough. Yeah, maybe I like that. Still upgrading my science production and culture production. Going for that 1 journalism now. Won't be getting scientific method, but I honestly think I have enough leaders that I can go for. Like Pierre, CM, Nelson. I have enough resources to upgrade, to maybe go for movies. And then with Chaplin is also available. And yeah, computers looking really nice with Bill Gates, Marie Curie and Steve Jobs. But yeah, with the movies, Ian Fleming and Chaplin become available for me with the journalism already, so I think I like that. Getting another civil action from blue, stealing that is probably going to be very nice. I really think he can't defend even with his magic castle. And I think his best option will be just losing the war, not losing too much science really. Losing that Court of Laws, which doesn't hurt him too much, so I'm hoping he doesn't defend. And I can steal a little bit of science and that Court of Laws. Sadly we won't be drawing cards, but I don't think that's a big problem. And the fray, we win that actually, that's really nice. Together with red of course, but going up to 22, definitely nice. So let's see what blue can do. Goes for selective reading, yeah, doesn't go for anything else. So we can steal his Court of Laws. And we discard red and circuses actually, yeah, that's not the greatest, but also not a big problem I think. So we steal 3 signs and the Court of Laws. That's nice at least. And yeah, can play that international agreement as well. New deposits, so you definitely would, yeah, probably taking food with that actually. Might take this Statue of Liberty, you can even finish that this turn. I think this is not a bad move. Don't need to upgrade our strength. We'll also go for the Harvard College instead. But with we didn't get the selective breeding because blue took that. So with this we fix our population issues a little bit. Next turn we can increase population again. We don't need those happy faces. Sadly we lost that bread and circuses, but we still have the option for something else like movies and all of that. Blue still at 8 culture production, but at 0 science at the moment. So it's gonna take quite a while for him to get more science, and then it's also hard for him to increase his strength if we draw a war, something like that. Yeah, I think this is good. We're going for the Statue of Liberty. We have a lot of science production still, so if we go for one of the H3 government forms like democracy, the Statue of Liberty will produce quite a lot of culture as well, and fixes our food, so that is definitely nice. So we draw some nice impacts or war. A bit of science, definitely could use that. Green at the moment is S6 as well, but if we go for more journalisms, which we might definitely do, that could be okay. Priest treaty probably not good in our position. Red declares war on blue, interesting, really interesting. So he does want to go for that. Does he have a tactic? Nope, he goes up to 720 actually, okay. Yeah, so definitely good that I didn't go for a war against him. And blue, let's see what he can do. What war was that, actually? Okay, he can defend it a little bit. Probably was the war over territory, that's really nice. If I had that, I would have probably also gone for that war. Yeah, territory is gonna be really nice. Blue can sacrifice a unit with the magic castle and then only lose 1. So this is definitely looking nice for red, but I think for us that's not actually bad. Blue's really running away with the culture, so red punishing him is really nice. Sadly we don't have an aggression. The input of science probably is also gonna be really nice. Can upgrade to computers or something. So input of science should be good, we're still the strongest. Developed territories, they can't really bid a lot for that, because they are in an active war. So we might be able to get that, especially with all of these cards that we have. And getting some additional science, we can go for democracy. Yeah, this looks really nice if we get that. We have enough resources anyway. I guess I would send away the cannons if I had to. Don't think I need to bid 12 for that. But if I had to, I would do that. It's just 2 resources more and we have a lot of resources anyway. So I can easily bid 12 if I really have to. And yeah, we win it for 5 only. So just need to send away the swordsman. And I guess 2 of these cards, I'd rather discard both of them than just the good one from H3. I can't have too many cards in hand, so rather have that one really good card than 2 mediocre ones. It means we will lose some colonization power, but yeah, we don't really need it for the following cards. So I think we can easily go for that. And then we have quite a lot of resources. So what will be our plan for this turn? We could go for democracy, very early democracy indeed. Could play that. Military theory probably also really important. Probably want to rebuild that swordsman, so we are at 22 again, so we can win with refugees and all of that. And then we could build another journalism. Could try to grab the cavalrymen, maybe we can use them. I'm fine with my tactic at the moment. Don't have a lot of food and this is a very population intensive tactic. Cavalrymen aren't bad, but what else would I grab then? Maybe military build-up is more important. I'm producing a lot of culture now, 12. So grabbing that could save us from any potential war basically. Don't think there's a way that they can declare war on me now that I have military theory and military build-up and 9 resource production. And I'm the strongest with Napoleon, so don't really think I need those cavalrymen. I have enough resources to go for tanks if I really need them. Of course it would be nice with cavalrymen, but I don't have a tactic for that yet. So grabbing that military build-up is quite crazy, going potentially for 10 resources. Really don't want to give that to the other guys if I still decide to go for wars. Which I don't really have to, I think, with 12 culture production this early on in H3. Can grab a wonder as well. I don't know which one at the moment. Will be 3 are revealed already. United Nations is not that great for us, depends on the impacts that we can draw. Internet is an option for us with the journalisms, and then spaceflight could also be great. So one of those two, if I can grab that. Have the architecture that makes internet and spaceflight really good. Don't cost as many steps, so that is definitely nice to have that. Up to 15 resources, we are well protected from any aggressions or wars. So I draw the input of culture, so the United Nations would be great, but we can't get that anymore. And yeah, then we have the probably gonna have the decision between all of these 3 wonders next turn, and they can't grab away all of those. Fast food chains could also be great, and we have enough resources to go for one of those. Agriculture, I think it's good that we draw that. We might not go into the mechanized agriculture, and then we don't want that impact being played. So if we have the input of science and culture, that's really strong if we go for even more journalisms, and we're gonna win both of those, and that's gonna be a lot of culture for us. And the war outcome, stealing just the one. Seems like blue defended with the magic castle for that. It seems like red doesn't want to play another politics action. Very interesting. And now blue probably has to rebuild some of his military. Goes up to 12, that's not that much really. Guess he can defend against aggressions with the magic castle again. Don't have an aggression in hand anyway. Can definitely go for that input of culture. I think it's pretty early to play that. We want to play something anyway. Going for that input of culture should be pretty good. Yeah, going with that seems like a good idea. We have a lot of culture production and the freedom of movement. We don't need these labs anymore. The philosophy labs can put those into the journalism. Having one more journalism feels pretty good. Still no new leaders besides Steve Jobs, and he doesn't work with the labs, with the journalisms. So I don't want to take him, especially for 3. Could take a wonder. Internet is okay. Spaceflight should be pretty good. Yeah, taking one of those wonders. We have a lot of resource production. Can also play the military theory, so we have a lot of strength. And then probably the spaceflight, right? Yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of science production, so going for that is gonna be nice. There was Fleming, so we could try to go for movies. Don't have to play the military theory this turn. And if we go for movies, internet might be stronger. But I think the spaceflight is going to be really, really great for us. And internet is a little bit cheaper. Right now it is 15 culture. If you go for Fleming, internet is going to be really strong. Because we get those that he produces from the culture, we get that as a bonus. If we go for movies, I'm going to go with internet. It's a little bit cheaper. We have the architecture to finish that in 2 steps anyway. And then taking movies. I'd really like to get reserves as well. Or I could take the air forces. Do I have to be afraid? I mean, I have military build-up and military theory in hand, so I don't think they can go for wars. But missing out on air forces seems dangerous. I'm in the best position to produce culture at this point, so I think it would be a blunder not to take air forces and open myself up to possible military plays. And I don't really need reserves. I have 12 resources and 9 in the reserve. 9 gonna produce. And gonna have enough to increase population one more time next turn. So I think that's definitely looking good. There are 2 mechanized agricultures left. If I get that soon, I could go for that with the input of agriculture. I'm happy with my tactic for now, and then having the air forces secures my military position. Yeah, and I'm gonna go with the internet on this one, not the spaceflight, even though that would also be really strong. But internet is a little bit cheaper if you have the tax, so you don't have to pay as many civil actions to finish that. And then Fleming might really increase that even more. Or Chaplin, if we go for those movies. Which we definitely can. We need some heavy faces eventually anyway. And then 1 movies could really give us even more culture production, which also works nicely with the impact of culture. So that's looking pretty nice. I'm a little bit afraid that Red will take computers and then he wins the impact of science. But I think it's not too bad really. Can get rid of the tactics, none of them are good. And then see if we draw some more impacts. Nope, just tactics and the military alliance. Would have liked some other impact. Lot other really good ones. You can still go into agriculture, maybe we even have to play that next turn to get refugees or international agreement. And push the impact of culture and science forward, so they come earlier and not just in the end. So I might have to play that anyway, and then hope that we get mechanized agriculture. But we will see about that next turn. So Red goes, and as a tactic, the defensive army. So he goes up to 26, so not the strongest anymore. But he's not producing a lot of culture at the moment. And then blue goes for some more religions and computers. Can't really go for that. Maybe he's trying to deny them from us. I don't have a lot of possibilities to go for, really. I mean, the peace treaty, but I'm not really sure I want to play that. Military alliance could be great. Yeah, the refugees. I don't think I want to play the impact of agriculture this turn. Maybe I go for those air forces to be stronger again. And then I can win that refugees. I could go for the military alliance. I think giving that to blue. I'm honestly thinking I will definitely be ahead of blue if it goes like this, even without a war. I might want to take that, keep that for a while. If red goes for a war against blue, I can protect him then. So I think having that in hand right now is pretty nice. Don't want to go for the input of agriculture at this point, so maybe I just skip, because I haven't drawn another nice impact. And then I have a lot to do this turn, really. I can definitely increase population, go for air forces, and movies. I think I can do both here. And then with the military build-up, last turn to really spend that, because after this I'm looking at a lot of strength, 35. And then if I delete maybe the left, and we have the impact of science, but we're still ahead in that, so I think I can delete one. And then build movies. Could also say we build the another journalism first to get some more science going. Then we're at 12, so we could go for the military theory next turn. If we go for the movies, we will have 2 more culture. Don't really need the happy faces. Nothing here is happy faces. 1 red card, that might be. But other than that, no problem. Can't really go for Steve Jobs or Marie Curie because we don't have computers or even scientific method. So we'll have to wait for Pierre or maybe Mandela. Yeah, Pierre's also not looking great. Fleming might be the obvious choice. Or then the Charlie Chaplin. So with some reserves should really come in handy. Or we could take professional sports and maybe tanks. Something like that. Professional sports to allow us to go for Pierre and Nelson Mandela if they show up earlier. Don't really need those reserves again. So maybe professional sports and tanks is the way to go. Professional sports also works really well with the internet. Yeah, and then going up to 12 science, so I can, if I have to, go for the military theory. I don't think anybody can go for wars against us, but being able to get that is pretty important. And we don't really need those reserves. I mean, playing that for food would give us another population. And there is another professional sports. Yeah, maybe I like the reserves more to be able to use that for food, so we don't have to delete everything. Or we go for the mechanized agriculture. Go for that next turn and then the input of agriculture will be good. Could also be good for the Empire State if we get that. Yeah, maybe going for that mechanized agriculture is the best of these choices, because we don't know what we will be drawing. And being able to go for another impact where we could be strong is pretty important. If we don't draw a new impact, I really want to use that input of agriculture. And then I need those mechanized agriculture to be competitive in that impact. Yeah, don't think I want to play the peace treaty either. I might, if I draw a war, I might still go for that. I have a lot of upside potential with the military theory, and could probably go and delete some stuff and go for another army. So I have potential for some wars. So I don't want to play the peace treaty really. No colonies that we played, so maybe we can get rid of this card. And basically this tactic won't be what we go for either. There's still tanks left, so we could go for one of these 2 tactics if we have to. Let's hope that we draw some impacts here. Or the war, that would allow us some no impacts. Yeah, so at least it's good that we went for that impact of agriculture. Or that mechanized agriculture, so we can go for that impact. So that's good at least. So let's see, red goes up to 29, but can't go for more. Oh, he does. Well, the tactic again goes up to 36. Blue still wants to play something, and red wins the international agreement. And yeah, blue going for that very strong revolution with Pierre, with this the Robespierre. That way he only has to pay 1 science to get into communism. That's really, really strong. So I don't want to play the input of agriculture, but I can play the aggression armed intervention against blue. He just didn't draw cards. And what would he need? He has the Himeji Castle if he wants to go and sacrifice a unit. But to be honest, it's pretty unlikely. So he's at 12 and we're at 35. So if he sacrifices the rifleman, he has 6 more. And then he would need quite a lot of cards still. I think it's very unlikely. If he has 2 more cards, that would put him at 18 from that. That would put him at 30. So 2 cards wouldn't be enough. I think we can risk this. Alternatively, we'd go for agriculture. But I don't know if I want to go for the mechanized agriculture yet. And this is a great spot to gain additional culture, stealing that from blue. Not the best aggression. Maybe stealing some other stuff could have been greater, like plunder or something. But even if we force him to sacrifice a unit, that might be okay. I really hope that red will go for war against him, and this might just soften him up a little bit. And then we have to see if we can defend. And it's successful, that's very nice. So we steal 7. That puts us both at 83. That's very nice, at least gonna give us maybe enough to win this. And yeah, probably wanna go for that military theory, so we draw cards. Culture and science in hand, we win both still. That's very important. And then military theory is also really strong. Maybe we wanna go for mechanized agriculture instead. And then only draw 2 cards. That's not too bad really. But we want to win the refugees, so I think it has to be the military theory. And yeah, I mean, we could delete something and build movies instead. Deleting something like, yeah, probably the lab. Even though it might be dangerous if red goes for computers, we might not win the bit of science then, but the lab won't matter too much. It's only 1 science from that. And going for that movies, really strong here. We have a lot of resources, so we don't have to be afraid at all. Here we can grab tanks. The only way you can lose, I think, is by wars. So making sure I can't really lose to that. Red could go for quite a bit with the reserves, patriotisms, air forces in hand. So grabbing the tanks so we can maybe go for the mechanized army if we have to. We will be losing Napoleon probably. Or maybe not. Yeah, might be close. Then we could grab away computers from red and satellites if we want to go for that. Marie would not give us that much. No strength because we don't have any labs. So not the biggest fan of that. Still have a lot of resources. I think we can definitely defend against anything that red could throw on us, and I guess he'd probably rather go against blue because he won't steal enough from us. And then we take away 4 cards. That might mean that next turn will be our last. Could go for Fleming and then the internet. That will be a very strong internet for us. We are the strongest for now, so we can defend against, or we can win the refugees. That's really nice. And other than that, we could delete something else and build, I don't know, like an air force, something like that. Do I really want to do that? Don't really need the religion. And we could build an air force. But what would that even give us really? Make it so we can't... Yeah, I don't want to do that. Maybe I just lose the selection. Maybe I can take some better stuff instead. But definitely want those tanks. And then grab and raid satellites and computers. Seems good. Building that movies, of course. And then I don't want Marie Curie, so I think I'm just gonna lose 1 selection, no problem here. And see if we can draw some impacts. Bit of strength. So all of the 10 or 14 in this case, culture, science and strength, so that's very interesting. And that we have drawn all of those. Maybe we can use that, maybe we can also use the government, not gonna be too impactful. And we still have that agriculture if we go for the mechanized agriculture here. And red goes for war against blue. Let's see what he can do. Air forces, and probably 2 of those, right? There's enough resources, so 1 and 2. Oh, even new tactic, wow. 71, that's pretty crazy. And let's see what blue can. And blue resigns. Very interesting, I don't think he had a chance here. So we're left with red here. So he only gets 7 culture for that because blue resigned. That's how it works. If you gang up or if you go against the weakest player, he can just resign. He had no chance of winning from this point. And if he resigns, you only get 7 culture for that. So that's probably good for us. Now the remaining thing is, so last turn, so next turn will be our last. But he can declare one more war. He has enough resources for one more air force. He has tactics, so that would be quite a lot. So I think we're gonna produce quite a lot of culture. We don't even need to finish the internet. All we have to do is prepare for the war that he might declare on us, or that he probably will declare on us. And how do we do that? Maybe with the modern army. Go for tanks. Don't need this happy face at the moment. And then if we take modern infantry, next turn we can go for that. Play the modern army, upgrade, fulfill the other tactic. We have a lot of resources. We could take patriotism. So if he goes for the war, yeah, sadly I won't be getting mechanized agriculture out now. The refugees also could hurt us. But honestly, he can only go for the war. He can't overtake us in culture production or anything. If he doesn't go for the war, we can still finish the internet. Problem is we're gonna lose Napoleon. So next turn we might grab Fleming, or maybe it's Pierre still, but probably not Pierre. Don't have to play this tactic yet, don't want to give it to him. And yeah, be prepared for the war that probably will be coming out. We have a lot of resources still, so we could go and delete quite a bunch, build another army probably, have a lot of military actions. So we could count, maybe we do have to play that tactic. Next time we're gonna have one military action less, so 6. Yeah, that should be enough, especially with the patriotism, so I don't have to reveal that yet. I mean, I could, he can't copy that next turn for the war anyway, so I can just play that. And with the last civil action, yeah, probably take engineering genius. We're still gonna win the Import of Science and Culture, so that's 20 more culture for us. We're basically ahead of Red. He will be losing Nobel as well, so will we Napoleon. But I think we are putting us in a position where we are prepared to defend. That's the only thing that matters now. Didn't get the culture from Blue because Blue resigned. Now we can only try to get the culture from us, which we definitely don't want to give him. Don't need those pacts anymore. Maybe we draw one more nice impact. I think this should be okay. Don't think he can. He could go for the war, definitely. I think we will be able to defend by enough, so we don't need to worry too much about that. So he doesn't have another war. It goes for that aggression. Can we defend? I think it might get close. No, we can't defend, so we will steal some resources. I think we'll still be able to finish the internet. And I just noticed that Fleming will be gone after this turn, because now it's a 3-player game, 2-player game, so he will be gone sadly. So we can't grab him for extra culture, but yeah, he can't really do that much with the resources. So I think we have to concede. That's not the biggest problem. We can still finish the internet, so not the worst. So plus an aggression, the plunder. Yeah, can steal that, no problem. 17 or 7 resources that he steals. And he can go for Pierre. And yeah, problem is, he really could have tried to grab Fleming. We're still not gonna lose this because of that. So that's very good at least. And let's take a look what you can do. We can probably play the Imperative Architecture, that doesn't seem too bad. Refugees could hurt us, so maybe we don't play that. I want to give that to him. He has 16 resources, so not enough for the Empire State. After, yeah, so he can't go for the Empire State. Only if he gets resources, which is not that likely. So maybe the Imperative Architecture won't be that great. Losing population could hurt us. I guess not that much. Architecture is very good for us. 5 more than him and 3 for playing. That's more than the refugees would hurt us, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna play that. Maybe it's not even refugees. Emigration, that also hurts. So probably have to... don't need the swordsman anymore. not really. Can play another aggression if he wants, that won't change that much really. Then can rebuild that guy, put them into religion, and build 2 steps, finish with engineering genius, and build the remaining 2 steps. So we get 21 culture from that, producing 20 more, and then we're going to win the input of science and culture. So that's very nice. And then I can go for that satellites. Yeah, not much else to do really. Could go for modern infantry and patriotism. We can upgrade. If it's a matter of competition, this might be good. And yeah, rest probably doesn't really matter that much. Could go for satellites, but I don't think he played anything like that. Guess maybe for variety or something. So it doesn't change too much really. Sadly, Bill Gates wouldn't give us anything. Would have been great to grab Fleming for the last turn. And this doesn't really matter. I think it's pretty clear how the game will go. And then end the turn. Can't defend. Shouldn't matter too much really. I mean, maybe he steals resources again and can finish Empire State. But that would also only give him 14, so should be very safe for us. So let's see what he can do. Can't really do that much, and you have a very big lead before the end. And then input of culture gives another 10, so does okay, not the architecture, that's okay for him. But then the input of harmony, 16 and 24, so he's also got quite a lot from that. But in the end, the input of science as well, so quite a big lead. Very interesting game. With the outcome of blue resigning, that changed a lot. I'm not sure how the game would have gone if blue hadn't resigned. That's always one of those questions after the game. But I still think it could have gotten very close and the same outcome, basically. Because red apparently didn't have another war, just the one. That wasn't enough. If he had one more, he would have declared that on me. So it would have been really interesting if blue could have defended enough. But yeah, there was no chance that blue would win this game, so yeah, I guess very nice move that he decided to resign, because there was really no chance that he would win after the war. So still a very interesting game, and pretty big lead, but that doesn't tell the whole story. And yeah, I guess we're gonna take a look at the standings as well. So after this game, it means that on average now I'm on top of the league, having 15 points, but an average of 3.8 points per game. This means I get above Himmelstosh, but remember guys, there's still a lot of games to come, so definitely hang in there and wait for the next game to come out. That should be next week, so it's getting really excited in this league. I hope I can pull through, but Himmelstosh is really strong. He's still not that far behind, and I think we have a game coming up against him. That of course will be very, very important. I hope you enjoyed this game and that I will see you for the next game as well.